Welcome to today's video. Mr. T, born Lawrence Tureaud, may be most famous for his role as Barracus on the A-Team, an 80s hit television program, or for his role as Clubber Lang in Rocky III. He is known for his distinctive African Mandinka warrior hairstyle, his gold jewelry and his tough guy image. In 2006, he starred in I Pity the Fool, a reality show shown on TV Land. He has maintained a strong connection with his community and desire to help his fellow man whenever he can. Mr. T was diagnosed with cancer in 1995, and said that it was just one more obstacle he had to face. That this was a test of his faith. He has also been vocal about his Christian faith through the years, though it wasn't until the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina when he sold off his signature gold jewelry he always wore, saying, "As a Christian, when I saw other people lose their lives and lose their land and property, I felt that it would be a sin before God for me to continue wearing my gold." This video shares 10 interesting things you need to know about Mr. T, from giving up his gold, being offered to be a professional assassin, making of a rap album, Muhammad Ali being a guest referee for one of Mr. T's wrestling matches, among others. 10. He was a math major. Mr. T's ability to get out of his unfortunate circumstances at home was due to his athletic ability in high school. Lawrence was good at sports. This talent caught the attention of Prairie View A&M University, a historically African-American college in Texas. They awarded Lawrence a football scholarship and he decided to major in mathematics. This is interesting because the academic curriculum for this major is more intense than most majors that are tailored for athletes today. Sadly, Mr. T felt that college wasn't for him and he dropped out after attending for 1 year. 9. Mr. T cuts down trees. In fact, he's really good at it. This started when he decided to begin his career in the United States Army in the Military Police Corps in 1976. During training, one of his punishments was to cut down trees until told to stop. Unfortunately for the Army, they forgot to tell him to stop and Mr. T would cut about 70 trees in 12 hours. Mr. T's superiors were understandably stunned and forced him to stop. Luckily, or not, Mr. T's tree-cutting career didn't stop there. In 1987, Mr. T moved into a ritzy neighborhood in the Chicago area called Lake Forest. His property had over 100 trees and Mr. T was allergic to all of them. So what did he do? That's right, he cut them all down. The residents of the neighborhood were so horrified that they created a law that forbid anyone from chopping down a tree without a permit. To this day, people still refer to the event as the 1987 Lake Forest Chainsaw Massacre. 8. He was almost an NFL player. Mr. T's competency in American football was well known among many influential people as he went from college to college before his career with the military. However, no one thought that he would have a career in the sport considering that he was a college dropout from an athletic scholarship. The Green Bay Packers didn't care about the lack of his college degree and invited him to try out soon after he left the military. These tryouts wouldn't work out for Mr. T as he suffered a career-ending knee injury. 7. He had his own cartoon show. In 1983, NBC paid production company Rubispiers to create a cartoon show starring Mr. T for their Saturday morning cartoon lineup. Rubispiers took advantage of the title and called their show Mr. T. The show stars Mr. T, who is the head coach of a high school gymnastics team that somehow solve mysteries all around the world. The supporting cast make up a group of various ethnicities and backgrounds that bring different talents to the group. The show would last 3 seasons before being cancelled and gave early writers such as Paul Dini, the man who has written some of the best Batman story arcs of all time, a chance to get their feet wet in the industry. He also had his own cereal. Quaker Oats wanted to take advantage of Mr. T's popularity in the 1980s and decided to send him a few paychecks to get him to talk to them. It worked because soon after that Mr. T cereal was created. The cereal was a mix of corn, oats and sugar. This cereal would even be featured in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, another 80s cult classic. 6. His net worth has been estimated to be $1.5 million. An actor, wrestler, and motivational speaker, Mr. T became famous as a wrestler, but achieved worldwide success as an actor. He played B.A. Barracus in the popular television series, The A-Team, and starred in Rocky III. He was also the subject of a reality show entitled, I Pity the Fool. 5. His favorite part about being a bodyguard to famous people was when they said thank you, Mr. T. Mr. T served as a bodyguard to people like Muhammad Ali, Steve McQueen, Michael Jackson, and Diana Ross. That's where he got his toughness. Tureaud became a bouncer in order to earn a steady income when his football career ended early and he realized that he had no desire to go back to the army. His tough persona quickly attracted club owners who wanted him to protect their businesses from drug dealers. Mr. T was so good at this that he got into over 200 fights and won all of them. This made him infamous and attracted the attention of high-profile clients such as Steve McQueen, who would pay him up to $10,000 a day to keep them safe. They thought enough of me that I could protect them, and that was serious business, he told USA Today. That's where my tough attitude comes from. When I was a bodyguard, I gotta look mean, I don't talk to nobody. The meanness and toughness is there. I enjoyed putting my life on the line, he continued. And when they'd say, thank you, Mr. T. Oh man, that was the greatest, that they appreciated what I did. Then I was happy. And that's it. 4. Muhammad Ali was a guest referee for one of Mr. T's wrestling matches. Most people know that Mr. T did very well in the world of professional wrestling. He was Hulk Hogan's tag team partner at the height of their popularity and the world couldn't get enough of him. Any wrestling fan will tell you that Mr. T's participation in WrestleMania was an amazing event. What they don't always remember is that Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest boxers ever and Mr. T's former client, refereed the entire match. That's right, Ali would have to punch a few wrestlers in order to keep order as the match slowly devolved into chaos. Being an amazing bodyguard for one of the greatest boxers in the world definitely has its perks. 3. He made a rap album. Lawrence took his potential to be a role model for children seriously. He released his first rap album titled Mr. T's Commandments. It contains 7 tracks that are meant to teach moral lessons to children through rap, with classics like Don't Talk to Strangers and No Dope No Drugs. 2. He was offered to be a professional assassin. Lawrence would get a lot of strange requests when he was at the peak of his bouncer career. Requests such as finding a missing person to convincing someone who was late on their payments to pay up. However, the strangest requested was when a man anonymously mailed an envelope to Mr. T with a request to kill someone. That request came with $5,000 in cash, a first-class round-trip airplane ticket to anywhere in the United States, and a promise of $75,000 when the deed was done. Mr. T refused to accept the job and tried to warn the victim, but the victim died of a car accident before Lawrence could do anything about it. 1. He has given up his gold. He hasn't worn a chain he owns since Hurricane Katrina hit New Orleans. After Hurricane Katrina hit in 2005, Mr. T told USA Today he could no longer justify wearing his jewelry, and vowed never to put on a chain he owned again. Because, as a Christian, I felt it would be a sin against God to wear my gold when the people lost everything, he said. I remember the bodies floating in the water, and I felt it would be disrespectful and insensitive to people who died, so I said I'd never wear my gold again. Only gold I have is the gold in my heart. He said that now, anytime he appears on camera with chains on, it belongs to the people who style him, and often isn't real. Thank you for watching.